Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and that the mother has went through a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
McSherman is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Johnny, my sound guy, let me know if everything is good. And hello, Pointer Lover. I saw Melly is here. Brooke G is here. Keenly's here. Planet Jace. Thank you guys for being here. Kelly. Carol freaking Claus is here. Lambs Bond 007. Good to see everybody. Tony, thanks so much for being here. Okay, thank you, Krista, and everyone else. Thank you, Johnny. And there is tea in chat served by Johnny if anyone needs a refreshment. Thank you so much. Hello, Tony and Karen. All right, so this is part 2. Last night we did obviously part 1. A lot of stuff coming out. A lot of lies told by Stephan Sterns, which we kind of already predicted. We already heard even in his audio interview. At this point, we have moved on to, let me share my screen, the written interview with Jen Soto. We started it last night. Some things that stuck out to us was not only does she send Madeline and Stephan up to the room together, Madeline gets dropped off at the house, at the condo that she lives at with her mother after her birthday party by the aunt. Stephan was not at the party. Stephan was at the house when she was dropped off. Jen Soto was not home from work yet. Jen Soto comes home from work. She says, I want to get a good night's sleep. And she says, why don't you two go upstairs to the bedroom together? And then we come to find out in the morning, Stephan goes into Jen Soto's room to get the dog leash. Jen Soto claims she gets out of bed to help Stephan with the dog leash. And then she doesn't ever see Madeline in her written interview here. And she doesn't really hear Madeline, but says that she heard noises and people in the kitchen, but she wasn't sure if that was Madeline or not. So they end up leaving, and Jen Soto gets out of bed officially around 9 o'clock because she had a 10 o'clock doctor's appointment. And then we left off with Jen telling the story about how she drives to the school and she's in the pickup line, realizes that Madeline is not coming out of the school, and she starts to kind of panic. She drives around and drives to her mother's office where her mother works, thinking that maybe perhaps Madeline went there. So that's sort of where we left off. A lot of this stuff is redacted, so we were kind of, working our way through it. So it says Jen was not sure if Madeline knew she was going to pick her up. Therefore, she drove to. And then this is redacted, but it's the address that her mother works at, workplace located at, redacted address, and checked on the way to see if she observed Madeline walking. Now, speaking of the aunt and the family, the aunt has spoken out on Nancy Grace today. Did anybody see that interview? And hello, Derek and Dustin, everyone else. Hi, Bella, Italia. Good to see you. Yeah, she is full of it. I agree. Justice Jane's here. Did you guys see the new interview with, Melly's seen it. I haven't watched it. I was sort of wondering if we could watch it together. And then obviously we will dig back into this incident report that has the Jen Soto, the mother's statements in it officially. Let me read a little bit more of Jen Soto's report, and then we'll change up the visuals, because I don't like to have just documents on the screen. I feel like it's not visually as stimulating. So we're going to change up some visuals and then switch over to hear what the aunt had to say. All right. When she arrived at, and I think it's supposed to say her mother's job, she asked her if Madeline was there, to which she advised it was still too early. Jennifer then parked on Hunters Park Lane to see if she would see Madeline walking. At approximately 16:30 hours, Jennifer knew Madeline should have reached her mother's office. Jennifer went back to her mother's office and asked if she was there, and she was told not yet. Jennifer then contacted Madeline's friend, and then that name's redacted, and asked if she was with that redacted name, if she was with Madeline. The friend informed Jennifer Madeline had not gone to school and that she was not in the first or second period. She then asked that girl, "What do you mean? We dropped her off close to the school. She should have walked to school." That girl informed Jennifer was not in any of their periods. Jennifer then began to panic because she believed something was wrong. Jennifer emailed a few of her teachers. One replied saying Madeline had not made it to his class and had not made it to school at all. Jennifer began to freak out and contacted 911. So when we first heard all this, we were kind of wondering, why would you bother emailing the teachers? See, it says here that she started to panic. So if you're in a panic, wouldn't you call? I don't know. To me, that has always been sort of weird. This is around 4:30 that she's claiming all this took place. I asked Jennifer if it was common for Madeline to not have her phone, to which she stated it was common for her to forget it because she has ADHD and is extremely forgetful and loses track of time. I asked Jennifer to explain to me where she looked for Madeline. Jennifer stated after speaking with, I think that's the friend's name, she went to the school and confirmed her attendance. However, it was already closed. Jennifer backtracked and drove back to her mother's office. After Stephan heard Madeline did not show up, he went to the mother's office. They all waited for law enforcement to arrive. Okay, so that is the images that we've seen in the body cam footage. We kind of looked at it a little bit last night on mute. I'm going to play it again on mute while I read this, but I am going to slow it down so we kind of see it a little bit in slow motion. The purpose of that is just, to give us a different perspective and see things a little bit differently. Sometimes you can in slow motion. So let's give that a shot. Then we will, like I said, watch the Nancy Grace interview. So let me switch my screen up. Again, we are reading the written incident report with Jen Soto, the mother, speaking with authorities about what happened as she realized that Madeline was missing. All right. They all waited for law enforcement to arrive at the office. They did not return home until they were done speaking with police. I asked Jennifer where Madeline's phone was at the time she had gone to pick up Madeline, to which she stated she had taken it with her when she went to pick her up from school. Jennifer advised when Madeline forgot her phone, she would bring it to her when she would pick her up. Jennifer tried to look through Madeline's phone while waiting for police. However, she was in a panic and handed the phone to her sister and niece. They both went through Madeline's phone. They did not see anything weird on her phone. I asked Jennifer where they looked for Madeline, which she stated was in the Hunters Creek area, and they returned home approximately 200 hours to 2100 hours. I asked Jennifer if they went back out after that, to which she advised Stephan had gone back out in the middle of the night in her vehicle. Interesting. I explained to Jennifer her residence was going to be secured and everyone was going to have to stay somewhere else for the night. I also explained Stephan's car would be towed to the sheriff's office for processing because Madeline was last seen in Stephan's car. I provided Jennifer with my cell phone, asked her to let me know where she and Stephan were going to stay, and explained to her she could call me anytime if she needed to speak with me. All right, so now it goes on to say second interview of Stephan Sterns. Now, before we get into the second interview, let's watch Nancy Grace's new interview with the aunt. And then we'll get back into the files to see Stephan Sterns' second interview written in the written form. Thank you guys all for being here. I see Zoe's here, Natalie joined, Liz, everyone else. Thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't. I forgot to ask you guys that, and I really don't ask you guys for much. Just like and subscribe, and let's watch this together. I have not seen it, and I appreciate those watching it who have seen it. So this came out a couple hours ago. Now, again, Nancy Grace, not my biggest fan, or not a big, probably that too. Not a huge fan of her. You guys know I would rather watch Vinnie Politan, but I do want to hear from this aunt. And look how different, just stating, I mean, my sister and I don't look alike at all, but her and Jen Soto don't look anything alike, right? I wonder if they have the same parents. I don't know. Just observing. And of course, Joseph Scott Morgan, one of my favorites, is on here as well. So this should be a good segment.
Christina, thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it. You know, in the last days, I've been reading all the new headlines, and we went further and there's a 900-page document that I have been, wading through. And I've got to tell you, it just made my heart stop. And I understand that you and Maddie's bio dad are reeling at the new information. Which aspect of the new information just released?
Okay, so this is bio dad's wife's sister. Okay, got it. That explains things.
Is the most concerning to you?
I think the biggest aspect has been the timelines that, you're ready to hear, but you're never ready to hear. And so seeing those kind of lay out and essentially a lot of my family and we haven't read through the documents, but I have seen quite a bit from social media, and it's just devastating. And the description of how she was found and just things of that nature, you're never ready to hear something like that, especially when it's somebody that you've watched grow up, and it's truly devastating.
And love
all of it.
Teresina, everyone joining us is a special guest, Maddie's aunt, Teresina Niles. I don't think that you should be hard on yourself at all. Do you know, to this day, today, I have never gone to the scene where my fiance was murdered. Why? Because it would just put me back at square one. I'd start all over again. I mean, sometimes it's just too much to take in. I've just been thinking so much about what I'm hearing. It's especially the allegation that Maddie was being molested by this guy as young as age 8. And I bet anything she never said a word to her dad about it.
No, we wouldn't be like, none of this would have happened if we even had an inkling. So it's I think that was another thing from the the documents, once we saw how many other of her friends and people didn't know either, and we're just, it doesn't take the pain away or the guilt, that's there, but it does show that, like, that nobody knew that closest to her, and it really is devastating, other than the people that did know, I guess.
Miss Niles, did you guys have any idea that the mother was just basically sending Maddie off to sleep with
No.
the boyfriend at night?
Not at all. Not at all.
I just,
So all of
I
this
couldn't
is
take that
news.
in.
Mm-mm.
How is Maddie's dad reacting to all this? He must be devastated.
It's been difficult to just see my brother-in-law Tyler and my sister Tatiana just go through any of this, just because they loved her so deeply. And it's incomprehensible. I truly can't even find the words to convey the devastation that I'm witnessing and seeing and reading. It just makes everyone really sick, really, really, really sick.
I pray to God, Miss Niles, I pray to God that one mother out there and one father, especially dads who are not in the home, like when the parents are divorced or separated, hear this and understand what's happening in so many homes across our country. Guys, I want you to take a listen to more of what the mom says.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts.
Yeah.
Black shorts? Okay. Black shorts. All right. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live. Okay.
I asked.
And that's the end. Interesting. Okay. Now let's get back to the files. Now, again, I don't find it surprising that the aunts and extended family and the bio dad who lives out of state didn't know, but I think we're all feeling the same thing. How did Jennifer not know as she's sanctioning them to sleep in the same room together? You know, that makes it different. If we didn't hear that Jen Soto was approving them to sleep in the same bed together, I might think, okay, then, you know, a lot of times kids don't tell their parents. But it's totally different hearing the mother say, you two go ahead and go in that bed together. It makes everything different. And hello, Angie Erickson and everyone else who have joined. Yeah, huge red flags. Absolutely. Okay, so we are on page 33 of 896. We just read through Jen Soto's written statements. And now we are going, and again, I keep going back to why Jen Soto is writing down in these sworn statements that she didn't see her, you know, any time past when she sent them up to bed. But then she tells the media, and I understand that she can't get in trouble for lying to the media, but it does raise questions why she chose to tell the media that she saw her getting dressed for school at 8 a.m. And then here we see her just there in that interview right there at the end, tell the officer that she was wearing black shorts. Well, how would she have even known that? Because after reading through her interview, we know that she never even said goodbye to Madeline in the morning before she went to school that day. Never saw her, wasn't sure if the people that she heard in the kitchen was her, because again, apparently there's roommates in the house. So just a lot of questions surrounding Jen still. Second interview of Stephan Sterns. This is on February 28th. Dr. Acosta and I conducted a second digitally sworn interview with Stephan Sterns. Below is a synopsis of this statement. I asked if I had his consent to download his phone or if I needed a search warrant to collect the contents. Stephan said it was fine and provided me with his phone pin, 42586. I advised Stephan that while digital forensics was looking through Madeline's phone, they noticed there was a lot of communications between Madeline and him. I asked Stephan to explain to me the relationship between him and Madeline. Stephan stated he is like a stepfather to Madeline, and she thinks of him as a dad. I asked Stephan what he and Madeline spoke about when they would FaceTime, and he stated he would speak to both Jennifer and Madeline. When I asked Stephan if he recalled what time he had factory reset his phone, he stated he was not sure because he was not a morning person, but believed it was before he went to the smoke shop. Stephan stated the update had a weird option when reinstalling everything. He was not paying attention to what he was doing. I asked if he could explain to me how he did the update, and he stated it was a push notification that appeared at the top, and he had ignored it for a long time. Stephan stated this took him to a page with a system, and he clicked something, and it was not sure what happened because he was not paying attention. After starting the update, the phone reset. I asked Stephan to explain to me what he did when he returned to his key fob. Stephan stated he parked and ran inside to grab the key fob, got back in his vehicle, and left the complex for his morning mission. And that's in quotes, morning mission. Stephan stated after he dropped off Madeline at approximately 8:40 a.m., he drove directly to the smoke shop and waited around 5 or 10 minutes for them to open. I asked Stephan if he went anywhere else after the smoke shop, and he stated he was probably driving towards the direction of the home and did not recall stopping anywhere. Yeah, he looks greasy and gross. Yes, and I'm sure he was running around sweating in the Florida heat, getting rid of her body, changing that tire. Why was the other room a spare? Why wouldn't Maddie have her own room? Right. He is gross and his hat is disgusting. All right. All right. I advised Stephan his vehicle was seen headed south again at 10 o'clock and asked what he had done between 8:40 and 10 o'clock. Stephan stated he had been cruising around a little bit, and that is in quotes, cruising around a little bit. I told Stephan he had originally stated he had been at the smoke shop for about 5 minutes and headed home. So already his statements are sort of changing. So the officer is pointing out, like you said in your first interview, that after you went to the smoke shop and waited, you went home. Now he's thrown in this new narrative that he was cruising around a little bit. Stephan stated he may have been lingering in the area, but he had made his way home. I advised Stephan I needed help explaining why there was an hour and 20-minute gap, which he stated he was not sure what to say since it had been a normal day. Stephan again stated the smoke shop was supposed to be open, and he had made his way there, and it was not in any rush. Stephan again stated he was not able to explain the time delay since he had not gone anywhere in particular. Right. So you didn't go somewhere secretive and dump her body. Okay. I asked Stephan where he went after the smoke shop, and he said home. I asked Stephan if the smoke shop was 10 minutes from his residence, to which he stated it was 15 to 20 minutes. I reminded Stephan he had originally stated it was 10-minute drive. He advised time was not a strong suit of his. Detective Acosta asked Stephan what time the smoke shop opened, which he stated at 10 o'clock. Detective Acosta then informed Stephan if it opened at 10 o'clock and he dropped Madeline off at 8:40, he would be going an hour before they were scheduled to open. Stephan stated he did not think it would be open, but he hoped he would get there early enough for them to open. Stephan then stated he arrived about 15 to 20 minutes before they had opened. Stephan then said he waited a few minutes after 10 o'clock for them to open, but he realized they were not opening and he left. Detective Acosta stated he had not waited past 10 o'clock since his vehicle was headed southbound on John Young Parkway at 10 o'clock. Stephan stated his vehicle was still in front of the smoke shop at 10 o'clock waiting. Hold on, guys. Switch up the screen. So already we can see in the second interview, he is getting tripped up on times and what visuals they already have of him driving around. So his timeline is not really matching what the detective is pretty much throwing in his face. Just checking you guys in chat too. Someone in that family had to have known what was going on. I agree. I think the smoke shop is suspicious. Mom is talking for a plea deal. Maybe this guy doesn't have many strong suits, right? Hey, Sherry, good to see you. It's true. Yeah, I went live a little early tonight. I know I usually go at 8. I was asked by the hubby to go a little bit earlier. So sorry if it tripped up anybody. All right, where? Stephan stated his vehicle was still in front of the smoke shop at 10 o'clock, waiting for them to turn on the open sign. And I advised Stephan his time frame was not making sense. According to Stephan, he was trying to help us the best he could. I reminded Stephan what he had stated and asked how he was there at 10 o'clock when approximately a 10-minute drive from where he dropped Madeline off. Stephan stated he had taken no particular route to the smoke shop, but he had made his way there. I asked Stephan if he had any issues with his memory, and he stated he was diagnosed with ADHD. He did not have his phone on him, and he was not sure of the time. I asked if he had a clock in the car, and he stated he believed he did, but it was not his car. Oh my gosh. Stephan then stated he was 90% sure he was in the smoke shop parking lot around 10 o'clock. I asked Stephan if when he returned to get his key fob, Madeline had gone inside with him. Stephan stated she had not because she was asleep. I asked Stephan, she was asleep. I asked Stephan again about the location where he got his flat tire. Stephan stated everything looked the same and he was drawing a blank about any specific businesses and only recalled pulling into a plaza. Stephan stated he was driving towards John Young Parkway and US I-92 when it occurred. Stephan recalled going to a Target on US I-92 near Walmart, and he was going to go to a house of cards but got a flat tire somewhere before he got to Oak Street. Stephan was not sure how long it took to change his tire, but believed he returned home around 14:35 hours. Stephan again apologized and stated his brain did not work properly because he had ADHD. While speaking with Stephan, I noticed he was wearing a blue shirt in the videos from earlier in the day. Stephan was observed wearing a red shirt. Stephan stated he had not changed clothes since the previous morning and did not believe he had showered either. I asked Stephan if I could take a picture of his hands, to which he advised it was fine. In the pictures, I noticed Stephan had a significant scar around 2 or 3 inches long on the top part of his right wrist. Stephan also had minor scratches on the top of his left hand. I informed Stephan his phone was going to be downloaded overnight and he would probably not get it back until the following morning, and he stated that was fine. On February 28, 2024, at around 0100 hours, I left Jennifer's residence. Officers of the Kissimmee Police Department stayed on scene and assured nobody re-enter the residence. Detective Acosta maintained visual contact with the silver Lincoln MKZ bearing Florida tag and his license plate number as it was towed by Ace Wrecker to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Operations Center, located at 2500 West Colonial Drive, Orlando, Florida. Detective Acosta also took Stephan's cell phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office Digital Forensics Unit, where Detective Darko Stamanik immediately began processing the device. On February 28, 2024, multiple detectives within the Orange County Sheriff's Office responded to Central Operations Center and began assisting with the investigation. Several orders were authored, including and then it's redacted, on, I'm assuming, Madeline's social media, and search warrant on Silver Lincoln tracking orders on vehicles bearing Florida tags, and then it has his license plate number. A search warrant on Jennifer's residence and search warrant on Madeline's Discord account. Google search warrant on email address, and then that address is redacted, and an infotainment system search warrant on GPS located in the Lincoln. So let's talk a minute about she fought back like Bella did with Chris Watts, both very sad. Yeah, you can't hide defensive wounds. I can't wait till we can see pictures of what they took. Jen had no maternal intuition. She's no mother to poor Maddie. And going over her interviews again, I noticed, she really kept pushing, like, I think somebody took her. Like, at one point she's asked, like, with mother's intuition, what do you think happened? And she was like, I think somebody took her. Yes, she was fighting back. Terrible. Crazy to me that Maddie never freaked out, that we know of on Mother, for the way she was being pushed to sleep with him. No teenager girl would ever want to do that. Yeah, I know. And in one of the interviews too, it always stands out to me that Jen Soto says something like they hadn't had an argument in a couple weeks. And we read last night in the documents about how the counselor that Madeline spoke with said that as soon as Stephan moved out of their house, things between her and her mother started to get better. So it does seem like there was a little bit of tension between Jennifer and Madeline, although we don't know what exactly about. So, was it about Stephan? Please see all the supplements for further information. During this time, it was discovered. See, why? Okay, Jennifer's vehicle had been driven on February 27th, 2024, between the hours of 03:27, 04:25 hours in the area of US I-92. Jennifer's vehicle had also traveled on February 28th, 2024, between the hours of 04:42 and 10:55 hours between US I-92 and southwest to Northport, Florida. After Stephan's phone had been successfully downloaded the morning of February 28th, 2024, Sergeant D. Stamanik within the Digital Forensics Units contacted Corporal Aviola to advise him there was child SA material. In true crime and in the media, they call it CSAM. So in case people are wondering what CSAM is, I've highlighted that so you can kind of understand the abbreviation when we read it further. So they downloaded his phone and immediately found CSAM on it. During a review of the pictures, we have observed several images that contained Madeline performing oral on a you guys know. Madeline being penetrated both with you guys know what this is saying. I've highlighted it, but I know that you guys know. And Madeline posing nude. Oh my God. In these pictures, the background was readily identifiable, and we were able to determine these incidents occurred at, then it gives the address that the condo was at. In a picture located on Stephan's phone, we observed a black mark near the tip of the, oh my gosh. This is describing what his shaft looks like. At this time, Kissimmee Police Department was advised of the findings, and Detective Corporal Brandon Ilgen and Detective Mark Morris responded to the Central Operations Center. The search warrant for Jennifer's residence was served on February 28, 2024 at approximately 800 hours. In the residence, detectives were able to locate several items observed in the CSAM images located in Stephan's phone. While conducting the investigation early on in the afternoon of February 28th, members of Madeline's family requested to travel to Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Location to attend the sheriff's press conference. Jennifer and Stephan were offered a ride by Detectives Hunt and Acosta. They agreed to the rides and were driven separately. Upon their arrival, Detective Corporal Ilgen, Detective Morris, and I made contact with Jennifer. Please see Kissimmee case, and it gives the case number for further details. As we spoke with Jennifer, members of the Violent Crime Squad continued to canvass the area for video surveillance. Prior to finishing the interview with Jennifer, I was advised that VCS, Violent Crime Squad, had located a video of Stephan discarding something in the trash compactor located in his apartment complex on February 26 at approximately 07:35 hours. So 7:35 in the morning. Again, we know that this is the backpack and the laptop. In this video, they observed a female wearing a green sweater in the front seat of the vehicle. The female appeared to be completely slumped over with her mouth ajar. So that's how sharp this video is, that they can see her facial expressions. At this time, Detective Berlardis, I'm probably butchering all these detectives' names, I'm sorry, Berlardis, established custody of the trash compactor until Waste Management arrived for their regular scheduled pickup. Detective Berlaris then followed the trash compactor to, and then it gives the address, Orlando, Florida, where the compactor was emptied. Contact was made with Waste Management's Director Manager, Antonio Roman, who provided a separate area for the compactor to be emptied. Antonio was provided with an approximate date and time that stephansterns was seen throwing a tire into the compactor. Based on that information, Antonio was able to provide an approximate location where the tire would be located and in the context of the compactor. Orange County Sheriff's Office forensics units responded to the location and was able to locate the intact tread of a tire, which they advised matched the tread pattern of the rear passenger tire of Stephan's vehicle. In close proximity to the tire, the crime scene investigators located a white trash bag that contained a black backpack with what appeared to be purple Hawaiian print and a white crock. Inside the backpack, CSIs located Orange County Public School computer with madelinesoto's name on it. Based on this information, it was determined the backpack and its contents belonged to Madeline. The forensics unit collected the tire, backpack, and crock. Why did he throw out one of her shoes? Upon reviewing the evidence, it was determined the Kissimmee Police Department would be taking the lead, and the case was subsequently turned over. The Orange County Sheriff's Office remained active in a support role. Detective Corporal Ilgen and Detective Morris conducted a video and audio recorded sworn interview of Stephan at Central Operations. See Kissimmee Police Department case number, blah, 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 for further details. After Stephan's interview, Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit responded to an interview room 1 in the Central Operations Central in reference to a DNA search warrant for Stephan. During this warrant, the CSI took several pictures of Stephan's body and his you-know-what, and collected all his clothing. Detective Junko and I located a black mark on Stephan's you-know-what, which was consistent with the pictures of his you-know-what on his cell phone. Pictures of Stephan's scar on his right wrist were also taken. Stephan was taken into custody for the arrest warrant authored by detectives with Kissimmee Police Department for S. Battery, familial custodial authority, and possession of CSAM material. Following the interview and search warrant, Jennifer's vehicle was towed to Central Operations Center. All right, let me check in with you guys before we continue on. Hey, Paige, good to see you. Kathy, good to see you. Yeah, Detective Junko, Junco, I think. I don't know. It's in there. Hey, Ableist. I think it fell off when he put her back in the vehicle. Her crock, right? Hi, MK. Good to see you. Hi, everyone, for being here. We are just reading through these supplemental reports. Let me switch up my screen. Our whip says, so I believe she was unalive during the night. See, the thing for me is like rigor mortis. When does it set in? You know, so in the car, she slumped over to the left. It was stated yesterday in some of the documents we read. And today we're hearing that she was slumped over with her mouth open. And then yesterday when we read about when they found her at the crime scene area, she was curled up in almost a fetal position, it was described as. So as she's in the car and as she's been placed where she was found, it seems like rigor mortis wasn't really active at that moment. So what time frame does that create for a time of death? Melly says, I think 4 to 6 hours. Hey, Debbie Fox, good to see you. Yeah, that's something we should definitely, we'll figure out. Now, as I read this other incident report, I got to switch up the screen for you guys, give you something else to look at. Oops. And again, thank you guys all for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's just play some body cam images. And I'll slow it down in slow motion as I read through the documents. Oh dear. Give me a second, guys, to get this set up. All right, so this is body cam of the night that she was reported missing. And I am reading another supplement report, incidents report. On February 29th, 2024, the Orange County Sheriff's Office continued to assist the Kissimmee Police Department by continuing to canvass and search areas Stephan traveled. A search warrant for Jennifer's vehicle was authorized and served on February 29th, 2024. On March 1st, 2024, Detective Leonard Jones responded to the area of the Destination Parkway and John Young Parkway to canvass for evidence. During that time, Detective Jones responded to Holiday Inn Club Vacations located at 9271 South John Young Parkway, Orlando, Florida, 32819. While reviewing the surveillance, Detective Jones observed that approximately 9:40 hours, the target vehicle, and in parentheses, it has silver gray Lincoln MKZ, and then it has Stephan's license plate tag, turned onto the above business property from Emissary Avenue, then proceeded to their parking garage. So this guy is just an idiot, like for not realizing how many cameras are around. While in the parking garage, a male wearing a dark hat and red shirt and tan pants exited the vehicle and opened the trunk. The male then walked to the front passenger side of the vehicle, opened the door, and proceeded to carry out what appeared to be a limp body to the trunk of the vehicle. See Detective Jones' supplement for further details. On March 1st, 2024, the Kissimmee Police Department issued a bulletin requesting information from the public. In the bulletin, KPD advised Stephan had changed a flat tire in the area of US I-92 and Old Hickory Tree Road. Kissimmee Police Department later received a tip stating that he had observed a male matching Stephan's description and vehicle, changing a tire, and directed them to the location. Deputies with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene and located what appeared to be a female wearing a green sweater and blue jeans in the wooded area. Detective Ilgen and Detective Morris responded to 5680 Hickory Tree Road, Kissimmee, Florida, where they confirmed it was the body of Madelinesoto. On March 1st, 2024, at approximately 19:16 hours, I spoke with Teletype Operations Mancuso, EID 7983, who removed Madeline, Madeline from NCIC FCIC as missing. Conclusion: this concluded my involvement in the recovery of Madelinesoto. So, like we have stated earlier, like we read yesterday, she is found in the green sweater hoodie that they described her being missing in. Now, looking back on the body cam footage where they're speaking with police in the office, and remember, Stephan's got his arms crossed and he's describing her outfit as a green hoodie. And he says dark pants, blue or black, he says. And then Jen interrupts and says black shorts. So Stephan described her in exactly what she was found in. He said she would be wearing white Crocs. Now, was she wearing, I haven't seen in the description from the crime scene what was found on her feet. Now we know that they found one of the Crocs in the trash can with her backpack and laptop. Where is this other Croc? I'm wondering. Maybe it was still on her foot. I don't know. But I find it interesting that Stephan described her in pants and she was found in those pants. But Madeline's mom interrupts him and says black shorts. And then, we find out through her interview written that she never saw her that morning. So how, again, it goes back to this whole, like, why would she have described her in black shorts if she never saw her that morning? Just a lot of weird things going on. Okay. Scrolling down. This is, you can't see it, but it's just Orange County Sheriff's Office, stuff about their vehicle. All right. So this describes what she was wearing. Oh, no. I'm sorry. This describes what was found in the vehicle. Let me show you guys the screen. We'll get back to that. So this looks like a log from his vehicle. One female black short with white stripe. One pink female undergarment. On February 27th, Deputy Joseph responded to, then the address is redacted, Florida, in efforts to retrieve scent articles as related to Madeline Soto. With the articles collected, I was able to provide clothing to the canine, and they completed a track. So was this items that were in the car or items that they had the dog smell? Because this is about the vehicle. Okay, this is about the search warrant for the residence. The above residence was located with the blank. Below is a synopsis of my involvement in the case. Scene security. When I arrived on scene, Orange County Sheriff's Office, OCSO, Corporal Kenneth Dale, and detectives from Kissimmee Police Department were securing the scene. I assisted with maintaining scene security until OCSO forensics units responded to process the residence. Prior to conducting the search, detectives at the site of the search were notified by detectives at OCSO's Central Operations Building, then it gives that address, that there was evidence of SA towards Madeline Soto, the 13-year-old victim, at the hands of her stepfather, Stephan Sterns, 37-year-old suspect. The evidence was located on Stern's cellular device. Some of the SA appeared to have occurred at the, and then it gives the address. Contact with, redacted, but it says victim's aunt, and I'm assuming this is the sister and the mother of Jennifer Soto, victim's grandmother and victim's aunt. At approximately 09:54 hours, redacted approached detectives on scene. I spoke with them, and portion of our conversation was audio recorded by Detective Matthew Chiang. Below is a synopsis of our conversation. Blank and Blake requested an update and said detectives had already interviewed them. They did not have additional information to provide that was not already known. Blank and Blank were visibly emotional and appeared concerned for Madeline's well-being. Blank said she did not believe Madeline ran away because she did not believe would do that. They described Madeline's recent birthday celebration and did not know of any reason why Madeline would be upset. To their knowledge, Madeline had not been in communication with any of the family members since she had been reported missing. Execution of search warrant, room number 4. Oh gosh, room number 4. The room that they were sent to, from what I understand. Hey, Alex, good to see you. And Katie, everyone else who's here, Lucia. No Mickey Mouse voice. Llama Mama. Yeah, 3 bedrooms and a makeshift room for Maddie. Disgusting. He's disgusting and a true monster. No one deserves to be abused or murdered exactly. All right, just checking in with you guys. Jen Lou's here. The party's all here. It's listed with the vehicle, likely came from the vehicle. That's what I was thinking. So then they found black female shorts with a white stripe in his vehicle and pink underwear. It said undergarment. So does that mean bra? Does that mean underwear? So that's a bit unsettling and weird. So are those the black shorts that Jen Soto remembers seeing her in? And then somehow she gets changed into the blue jeans that she's found in at the crime scene. This changing of outfits it's a bit much. Okay. Room number 4. At approximately 11:30 hours, I assisted with searching a room in the residence on the second floor identified by a chrome number 4 on the outside of the door. Inside of the room, I located a black backpack, which had an orange bottle of Soto lotion in it. The back of the bottle identified the product as masturbation cream. I photographed the item, pointed it out to crime scene investigator Shay Janek. I'm sorry, Shay, butchered it. And she collected it. Now this area is, I'm assuming, Madeline's designated space. At approximately 11:50 hours, Detective Detective Matthew Chiang, and I made contact with Detective Tagler and Detective Kyle Cole via the phone. Via a video call, they showed us digital photographs of presumably Stearns essaying Madeline. The purpose of viewing the CSAM via a video call was to ensure the correct evidence was collected and preserved to the best of our abilities. We examined the clothing worn by both Madeline and Stearns, along with surrounding items such as sheets, blankets, and other articles of clothing. We were able to identify some of the items seen in the photographs in downstairs area that we previously described by detectives as Madeline's room. The space appeared to be in the living room of the apartment, turned into a bedroom with a folding room divider between the room. This is pathetic. Between the bedroom space and the kitchen and dining room. This area was located on the far right of the apartment's first floor when you entered from the front door. The items we located were documented, collected by CSI Janiak. Contact with Ray Ortiz, operations manager for security. At the conclusion of the search, I made contact with Corporal Evan Avila via the phone. Corporal Avila notified me the front office space of the complex had been working on providing video surveillance from the complex. An unknown staff member stated the process to provide the video was going to take approximately 6 hours due to how it had to be viewed and downloaded from the system. At approximately 13:45 hours, I made contact with, and it's all redacted, who identified himself as the operations manager for security. I provided, redacted, with my direct agency phone number and requested he notify me immediately when the video surveillance was ready to be collected. Redacted provided his phone number, and the number is redacted. I did not hear back from Redacted, but later found out he had been in communication with OCSO detectives. OCSO's Central Operations. After speaking with Redacted name, I went to OCSO's Central Operations building. While there, I maintained security outside of an interview room where Stearns was located and was waiting to be interviewed. KPD detectives interviewed Stearns, and I motioned a portion of the interview electronically from a room nearby. At the conclusion of the interview, I assisted KPD detectives with a collection of photographs, clothing, and DNA evidence from Stearns' persons based on a signed warrant they had. I located a black freckle or mark on Stearns, you know what, that was visible in some of the photographs and videos while examining photographs and videos of Stearns essaying Madeline. In the photograph used to compare the mark, presumably Stearns is wearing a red and white Deadpool shirt, which was seen in multiple photographs where Madeline was being essayed. OCSO's CSI Ivory Smith collected the evidence. This collection was conducted on the same audio and video recording as Stearns' interview. At some point while Stearns was in the interview room, I took a vape pen from him, which I discarded in the trash at KPD's direction. Oh, so sad. He got his vape thrown out. Evidence examination. At one point, while examining the photographs of Madeline being essayed, to ensure all potential evidence was collected, I located a photograph of Stearns with his face visible and his tongue on presumably Madeline's nipple. The photograph titled, and then it gives the name of the JPG, was found in an album full of photographs of CSAM of Madeline. Waste management information. On February 29th, 2024, Corporal Avila requested I gather information on the trash collection procedures at the complex Stearns and Jennifer lived in. At approximately 10:00 hours, I made contact with Waste Management by calling, and then it gives their number. I spoke with Cree, who was unable to access the information for the request address, redacted address. Cree transferred me to Ray, referred to as such, from the Florida Area Waste Management Commercial Department. He said Waste Management collected the compactors from, and then the redacted address. The trash would be taken to Orlando Transfer Station, then that gives that address. Serviced by Waste Management Orlando, gives their address. It is unknown how long the trash would remain before it would be transferred to either Pine Ridge Landfill, gives their address, or Vista Landfill, and that's their address. Waste Management was the residential hauler for the Osceola, meaning they pick up any trash from individual residents. They also hauled for any commercial property within city limits for Kissimmee, Florida. All right, how are you guys doing in chat? I need to take a little drink of water. Hey, Roxanne. Good to see you. I mean, how many times, right, do we see these comments? How did Jen not know? Jen had to have known. Jen knew. She knew. People are saying, hey, Kay Braze is here. Hey, guys. I'm scrolling up because I see Ableist gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much for gifting those, and welcome to all the 10 members. If you received a membership and you're able to thank Ableists, they are in chat, and I'm sure they would appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it, and you did it again. 10 more. Thank you so much. She freaking knew. POS. Just for fun, put a 1 in chat if you think Jen knew what was going on. Put a 2 in chat if you think she's just oblivious, like the rest of the family was and her friends were. I'm just curious where we're all at. Now, let me just read a little bit more and then I'll go back to you guys. Okay, so we're talking about Waste Management and their collection of things. Ray said he was the only Ray in the Florida Waste Management Commercial Department, but he could not provide a phone number to be directly connected to him again. Hold on, let me switch up my screen to body cam released from the night of the search. Again, this is slowed down. A lot of ones. Again, if you feel it's a 2, please, share your opinion. No one's going to judge you. We don't know the truth. Okay, we got 1, 2. I think Jen was into it. For real. You're not the only one that thinks that, MK. Lots of 1s, guys. She's a number 2. Yes, we need some comic relief. So thank you, MK. All right. He provided a more direct number for the commercial department. Then it gives his number, which obviously is redacted, or no, it's not redacted. It's right there. Emergency Response Team, Command Post. On March 1st, 2024, at approximately 09:22 hours, Corporal Avila asked me to respond to 9400 South Park Center Loop, Orlando, Florida, 32819 in reference to meeting with OCSO's Emergency Response Team. While there, I was the liaison between Emergency Response Team and the Criminal Investigations Division. At approximately 12:40 hours, I notified ERT, which is the Emergency Response Team, located large bones in the wooded area. I notified Corporal Avila, who was with Corporal Alexander Richards from OCSO's Homicide Unit. Corporal Richards instructed me to contact the medical examiner's office to show them the bones in order to determine if they were from a human. I collected photographs of the bones and sent them to the ME per Dr. Zydowicz. They were non-human. The ME stated the bones still need to be collected and submitted to them. At approximately 13:02 hours, I contacted OCSO's forensics and spoke with CPI Janik, who responded out to collect the bones. I documented this under OCSO's case number. ERT units located a camera at 2405 Commerce Park Drive, Orlando, Florida. I sent this information to Corporal Avila and requested he have a unit respond to check the cameras. OCSO's Violent Crime Squad located video footage of Stern's vehicle at the above address and were then able to trace him to the nearby locations where I was told Stearns was seen moving Madeline from front seat of his vehicle to the trunk. ERT located a pair of underwear and a dress in the same wooded area the bones were located in, but further south. CSI Janik collected both items. On March 1st, 2024, OCSOs received confirmation Madeline had been located deceased in Osceola County. This concluded my involvement in the investigation. All right, just scrolling down through some more reports. So here's another supplement report. Narrative. On February 28th, 2024, at approximately 1940 hours, I, Deputy C. Vasquez, spoke contact with a caller who stated she may have seen a missing juvenile on Monday, February 26th. So not in March, on Monday, February 26th. Sorry about that. My investigation revealed on February 28th, 2024, at approximately 1940 hours, I, Deputy Vasquez, spoke with a caller who stated she may have seen a missing juvenile on Monday, February 26th. The female caller, Maria Ann, stated on February 26th at approximately 13:30 hours, she was driving on Hunters Creek Boulevard and noticed a young girl crossing the street. Maria stated this young girl was wearing a green hoodie and carrying a backpack in one hand and a plastic bag in the other. Maria was unsure if the color of the pants that the female was wearing. She said it might have been white or black. Maria also stated the backpack was cream colored and her shoes were white. Maria stated the female was crossing Hunter Creek Boulevard from the north side and the south side, walking east towards Orange Blossom Trail. Maria stated she remembers it was by an old golf course that was in the area. Maria stated the female was alone when she noticed her crossing the street and she was driving by when she saw the female. Maria was unsure if it positively her, but wanted to share the information in case it was useful. Sex Crimes was notified and routed to Sex Crimes for further investigation. This concludes my involvement. Now, that obviously wasn't Madeline. More incidents reports. On February 28, 2024, at approximately 1935 hours, Deputy First Class Renee Davila was contacted by Corporal Alexander Richards. From the homicide unit, Corporal Richards requested assistance with utilizing my canine partner, Canine Archer, and conducted a sweep of 2 vehicles for human remains due to the fact Canine Archer is trained in human remains detection. Okay, so they have a cadaver dog. I then responded to the southern fenced-in parking lot of Orange County Sheriff's Office, Central Operations located at 2500 West Colonial Drive. At 20:05 hours, I conducted a sweep of the first vehicle, which was a 2010 silver Lincoln bearing a Florida tag, and then that's his license plate. Archer did not give a final alert to the 2010 silver Lincoln. Interesting. At 22:10 hours, I then conducted a sweep of the 2022 Nissan sedan, which had a Florida tag that's redacted attached. Upon conducting the sweep, Canine Archer showed a change in behavior, then gave a final alert by the rear passenger wheel well. I informed Corporal Richards of the results. The sweeps were recorded on my agency-issued body-worn camera. Okay, that'll be interesting to see someday. So interesting, the cadaver dog didn't really show much interest in the Lincoln, but showed more interest in the other vehicle. That's interesting. Near the rear passenger wheel well. Gave the final alert. Guys, give me a second. I have to go to the potty real quick. I'm sorry. We've already been at this for 1 hour and 12 minutes, so I do have to just take a quick break. Appreciate your guys' patience. Hi, Ava, and everyone else who's joined here. If you want to just take a minute and hit that like button if you haven't, it's much appreciated, and I will be back in a jiffy. All right, I'm back. All right, let's see what else we are scrolling through. I did want to play a little portion of a court TV segment just to reference some experts who are speaking on these documents as well. So this is the incident report that I just read through, which talked about the K9, smelled the Lincoln, did not give a final alert, did a sweep of the Nissan, and it showed changed behavior, gave a final alert near rear passenger wheel well. This is all captured on body cam. Scrolling down. That's talking about the vehicles. Incident report narrative. On February 28th, Robert Fisher, responded to the redacted for purpose of distributing missing person flyers and reviewing video at the complex to look for relevant content. Upon arriving at the complex, I passed out flyers of the following address. I then went to the office to review the video. I observed the following. On February 26, 2024 at 07:35 out. So this is the follow-up of them. Remember when earlier we read about him being seen dumping her supplies, and then it said, read the follow-up from KPD. This is KPD's report on it. On February 26, 2024 at 7:35 in the morning, videos that captured the trash compactor on the property show a male determined to be Stephan Sterns wearing a red t-shirt and dark-colored hat worn backwards arrived in a silver Lincoln sedan. Sterns threw a white trash bag filled with items inside the trash compactor before pulling away. A female believed to be Madeline is visible in the front seat. Her head is visible, tilted on her left shoulder, and her mouth was open. She was belted into the seat. At 8:19 hours, a Lincoln sedan appears at the front gate where the driver, Sterns, interacted with a security guard before being allowed to enter the gate at the front of the complex. Additional video collected from near the rental office, which captured the roundabout, showed a female believed to be Madeline in the same position as the previous video at 07:36 hours. So he returns at 8:19 with her still in the front seat, and he is speaking with the security guard with Madeline, deceased presumably, in the front seat, belted in. Wow. At 8:31 hours, the silver Lincoln exited the back gate. The video captured the female still in the same position as the other videos, still in the front passenger seat. Due to difficulties with the wireless cameras at the rear of the complex, I was not able to obtain further video of the vehicle entering or exiting the back gate. Reviewing the front gate vehicle, I did not observe the Lincoln come back through the front gate between 8:30 hours and 16:40 hours. At 16:35 hours, multiple cameras captured Sterns arriving in the trash compactor in the silver Lincoln sedan. Sterns is wearing what appears to be a blue shirt and a dark hat worn backwards. Sterns walked to the compactor, opened the door, and returned to his vehicle. Sterns removed a damaged tire, what appeared to be the tread of the tire with no walls. Sterns threw the tire into the compactor. I submitted the video, which I captured on cell phone, the evidence to evidence.com under the case number. AI videos were extorted to a USB, which I will be providing to Kissimmee Police Department to continue this investigation. I also collected visitor log records from the complex for February 26, 2024. I completed a business certification record for the video and log. All videos and documents collected will be turned over to Kissimmee Police Department. And then this is obviously his signature signing off on that report. So we started tonight on page 34. We are on 57. I think we're going to stop the document reads right now. I'm sorry, this is page 59. And okay, so we're at an hour and 18 minutes. I really like to do hour and a half-ish. I do want to play a court TV segment, just a little clip, not the whole thing. Yeah, that's insane. That's so sad. What? That's nuts. Right. So he drives back to the area. That jackass. I'm sure the security guard feels bad. And right. And what's he to do? He's there to secure the complex, and he probably got bamboozled by Sterns. Like, oh, I forgot my key fob or whatever he said he had to go back for. Yeah, did he overdose her? And the mom is lying about the clothes. So many questions, right? So many questions. Even reviewing these documents, I had hoped like, oh, okay, well, like we are getting more visuals of like the scene, but still so many questions. But yeah. I'll miss you, Amber. Oh, I'm back now. Yes, thank you so much, Johnny, and all my moderators tonight. Oh, no problem, Melanie. I don't mind reading this stuff because I find it, interesting to kind of go through. Yes, his clicker that gets him in and out. The security guy should have questioned if Madeline was okay, but probably never thought about it. Right. And what are you going to do? He says, I'm driving my stepdaughter to work or to school. She's sleeping. What are you going to do? Be like, is she really? Let me check a pulse. It's like nobody thinks that they're going to be in a situation like that, Hindsight, right? 2020. All right. So I'm not going to play this whole segment. It's a couple days old. I do want to hear some of the experts' opinions on stuff. They are referring to the documents, some of the pages that we haven't even read yet together. But I feel like it's good to kind of hear other people's perspectives on parts of these documents that, we haven't even read yet. Just to kind of give us a whole overview and picture of everything that was going on. So, and professionals' opinions, obviously. All right.
I'm going to begin with you on this, what I just read from the counselor, from Madeline's friend. What do you hear in this? What do you sense? What does it mean about the dynamic and what was going on here?
Well, what that would mean to me is that Madeline knew that she had to probably keep this as a secret. And this probably happened very early on, right? When we think about threatening her and secrecy and perhaps understanding some type of consequences, abusers normally put some type of fear out there and they control the relationship. So as her friend was describing the constant texting and communication, abusers normally will control that relationship, but they do it methodically because over time there's been trust that's been built and there's been a connection and there's probably been some level of isolation and probably she's been used to him being a resource to her and the mom. So when I hear the interview by the therapist, I would also hear that there was obviously some concern there, but this part would probably be the deep, dark secret that she was keeping.
Ken Jackson, as I'm listening to this, it seems an incredibly thorough investigation. They're speaking to everyone connected to Madeline. Of course, it began as a missing person, then became a murder investigation. But from what we're hearing, it doesn't seem like Madeline told anyone about this.
Right, and what I've seen from the documents so far, it just seems like there isn't that triggering term that, say, a counselor would be overly concerned about to take the investigation to the next step. Madeline kept this close to the vest if this was happening at home. She gave little pieces like the Stephanie creeps me out. He's home all of the time, but nothing that would overly concern an expert. This is a pattern of behavior in cases like this where there's abuse at home from an authority figure at home, and it's really actually sad to see that there wasn't that little extra to make someone else outside a counselor or someone like that investigate more.
Absolutely. I want to read this, Greg, because this is another disturbing incident here. A coworker who I guess dated or had some sort of relationship with Stearns came forward. This thing is so high profile. The coworker stated that Stephan Stearns told her, although he was separated from his girlfriend, he still slept at Jen's residence and specifically in bed with Madeline. The coworker said that Stephan Stearns justified this behavior by saying he needed to cuddle with her so she could fall asleep. The coworker further recalled the conversation she had with Stephan Stearns where he told her that he woke up in bed with Madeline with an erection and had to turn around in the bed. He's telling this to a woman he's dating. The coworker felt the comments Stephan Stearns made to her about sleeping with Madeline were inappropriate, and she stopped talking to him. He is saying this stuff out loud, Gray, out loud to a woman that he's in some sort of the co-worker.
All right, I would rather hear your guys' opinions on that part of this. We haven't even read that in the files yet. So he's telling a coworker that he has to cuddle Madeline, and he woke up in bed with her aroused and had to turn around in the bed. Like, what in the heck? It's unbelievable. It's disgusting, guys. Why didn't the coworker do something before? God, right? Like, they come forward now. That's unsettling. Yes, so disturbing. I know, it's infuriating that people knew about certain things like this. Cuddling with her. So he tells the coworker he's cuddling with her in bed, and then he tells the worker he wakes up aroused. Like, what the heck? And nobody says anything. Did she call the police? Apparently not. Not until she had to be interviewed about it. Yeah, I hate finding out that the people that did the interviews were the ones that actually did it, and they sat there and acted like nothing was wrong. Makes me sick. He absolutely is a predator. Tess asked a question. I believe I read she was sleeping during some of the essays, like on the phone. Do you think she was asleep a lot? Thank you. There is a lot of emphasis in like in the stuff that we read last night of, you know, they speak about her getting ready for bed that last night, and she took her medication, her sleep medication. They speak about the sleep medication very casually. So I don't know, maybe it was something that she was always under the influence. I'm not sure. I do not know, but I'm sure we will find out more. Yeah, seems like there's more to this nightmare. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're digging through and finding out and kind of working our way through. It's terrible. Yeah, exactly, Katie. Mind your own business doesn't apply to this type of business, in my opinion. Right. Who are these people to hear this information from Stephan and to go home and sleep peacefully? She was probably laying there awake, afraid of all the time, but remember, they were giving her something. Yeah. Terrible. And remember when this case first broke? Yeah, hopefully Bubba cuddles him in jail, right? Remember when this case first broke and we were looking through images of Madeline, people were saying things like, poor girl looks so tired. She looks so tired. Wonder if that had a lot to do with the medications and stuff. And trauma, obviously. All right, guys. So this is only part 2. We'll be digging into more. Yeah, maybe she was given more medication to sleep than she needed. Yeah, maybe. And yeah. But then they're saying that her cause of death was strangulation. So we've kind of theorized for, weeks, like, oh, maybe it was an accidental OD with her sleep medication. Yes, they were giving her uppers and downers. Yeah, she looked traumatized. Yeah, I can't wait for the toxicology screen, if we'll even see that. But the information will come out because it's already come out through, media that she was strangled. I also read the teacher said she was exhausted in school too. Sad. Okay, so thank you, Pointer Lover, for bringing that up. Yes, I did hear from Bio Girl. She's doing well after the surgery. She said it was more painful than any of the other surgeries she's ever been a part of, but she's in bed now resting. And I told her I would tell you guys an update. So thank you so much for reminding me because I totally almost forgot. But yes, she said hopefully she can go home in the next couple days. She is still in the hospital. She got sick from the anesthesia, but she says she misses everybody. So thank you again, Pointer Lover, for reminding me because I totally forgot. Anyways, guys, we're going to dig into more of this stuff. There's so much more to go through. And if the truth be known, Jen was in on it too. Time will tell. Someone will leak. If it's sealed because of her age, I think this case is huge. Could be. I mean, they accidentally leaked a crime scene image of her. Ridiculous. But, all right, guys. I appreciate you all being here. Tomorrow night, I think we're going to take a little break from madelinesoto. And believe it or not, just to kind of decompress from this case, we're going to talk about another case. And I think we're going to go through Chris Watts' FBI interview. So that'll be tomorrow night. It'll probably be a few parts. So probably go through that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. Then we'll take a break off for the weekend and then get back into these files on Monday and Tuesday. So we'll do part 3 and part 4 of these files Monday, Tuesday next week. And the rest of this week, we're going to take a break from this heaviness. It's so weird to say we're going to take a break from one case and talk about Watts, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of decompress a little bit, make fun of Chris Watts and all that. So I appreciate you guys all being here. Again, hit that like button. Ableist, thank you for gifting those memberships. And thank you guys all for being here. I hope you join me for part 3 and part 4. We're just going to keep digging through these files and going through them. So thank you so much for being here. And all my moderators, Melly, Johnny, Pointer Lover, Holly, you guys know who you are. I appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, we're going to talk tomorrow night and we'll do, it'll be a good break. It'll just be a little break from this stuff, which is obviously extremely disturbing. And then we're going to go to another disturbing case. But, in the meantime, I hope everyone is able to kind of decompress from everything we read tonight anyways. Watch a Disney movie, go for a walk, enjoy time with your own family. And because this stuff is just heavy to deal with. But yeah, good night, everybody. We will talk tomorrow night. Hope you guys join me. And yes, here's Johnny. And thank you again. And goodbye.